Hey everyone, how's everybody doing? My voice is not the same, it doesn't feel the same. Um, my throat is a little messed up, getting a little bit of a cold, but that's what I get for having children. No, children just really, when they get a cold, I mean, it lands on you differently. But it doesn't always stick. Like usually, I'm surprised that it took me this long to get a cold. You are loud. I'm loud? I'm very loud? This is why I always check the audio. Let me know how the audio is. Might have a couple of times where I cough a lot. Super loud? Um, Maybe it's a different audio stream that I'm using. Let me see. Yeah, everybody thinks that it's COVID. Let me know what the volume is like. Audio sounds fine. I lowered it a little bit, so you should be okay. Just turn down the phone. True. I mean, I lowered it a little bit. It was in the red, but now it's in yellow. So we should be fine. At this point, I'm hoping Amazon buys AMC because I don't see it. Yeah, me too. I mean, I've been talking about this for quite some time, right? Yeah, everything isn't COVID, you're right. But I've been talking about this for quite some time about exactly what's going on with AMC, and people think that I'm paper hands because I'm talking the way that I'm talking. I mean, sucks. Sounds fine now? Okay. Beautiful voice. This is not my normal voice, I can tell you that. It definitely feels different. Feels like I have a little more like depth to it at this point. Can you break down how you configure your Weeble to look like that? I can't use it since I'm in the UK, but I'm trying to have some interface stocks. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that's really going to help if I break it down like this. I mean, typically I'll use a 1 minute chart. So this is a 1 hour, you have a 1 hour chart here, you can see it at the bottom. But typically I'll use a 1 minute chart, look at 1 day, and then that's how it'll be set up. I'll always use a 15. I won't always use it. More times than not, I will use the 15 moving average and the 200 EMA. For any other platform, you can use a simple moving average. You can use a 20 simple moving average. You can also set up the EMA as much as you want. That's mainly how it's set up. I don't really use too much more than that. You can use more indicators if you want to. You can use a 15 moving average, a 25, a 50, or whatever all together, and then have different levels that it will come back to, especially if you use the bounce back method. It was fine before, so you're saying that it's not good now? I hate how I have to go through this like audio stuff. AMC on the run up today. It's not really doing anything today. I mean, it pretty much, you gained 1% in the after hours, and then when it got to the morning, it pretty much went down 1%. So it was basically break even, right? How's everybody doing this morning? Does anybody have a plan? I mean, the whole purpose of this is to talk, right? But I can tell you my voice is killing me. And oh, I can't go until the market open. I have to stop streaming before the market opens. So somewhere around like 9:15. So I'm sorry about that, but I'll make sure to do some sort of an update later today, as long as my my voice, is okay. Sorry, I just didn't cover my mouth there. I covered the mic over anything else. I don't want it to be super loud. What is your career? About to graduate with a physics degree and looking to get into the finance sector. Mainly, when I graduated college, my idea or what I wanted to get into was to be a senior accountant. I knew that senior accountants could make a ton of money, but I didn't know really how to get in there. So my idea was to focus on all the things around accounting, and then I would be able to be placed in that accounting job. So I started out as a accounts receivable clerk, then moved to accounts payable, then moved to a staff accountant, to a junior accountant, and then to, or it might have been the other way around, and then to a senior accountant. And now I'm a senior financial analyst at a hospital. So I had a lot of movement, and I wanted to do that just because I wanted to understand all the workings of accounting. And you learn a lot more in a job than you do at a college. College, you'll learn book knowledge, but you learn so much more. I learned more in my first, month working a full-time job in accounts receivable than I ever learned about accounts receivable in my accounting courses. So it just hits differently, I'll tell you that. AMC is not going higher than $6.80. I can't say that. It's going there. It's just going to be a slow road, slow move up. And right now it's mainly at the point to where we're flat. Nothing where we have that large increase that we were expecting. And who knows? Right now we just have a volume problem. So who knows if people get interested in this, then the volume ends up skyrocketing, which means the price ends up skyrocketing. So it just all depends what happens there. But yeah, you're probably right. Because people that teach can't do. No, I think there's a difference between learning book knowledge, learning the definitions, and learning how to do things by the book, and then doing things in actual business. Businesses are really on the fly, and I learned that. You may have to build certain financial statements, certain reports or whatever in order to give that to an executive versus working with a hypothetical situation in a book that really doesn't factor in real world situations. Like if I had to give some sort of example, basically like they'll show you a financial statement to a certain company, and they'll say, figure out what this journal entry does, and I really can't give an example there, but it's book knowledge versus actual knowledge. Like I feel like it just hits differently. I don't really know how to explain it, but people that go from being in a college, learning that information, and then going to an actual job, and then doing things on the fly, definitely seem like they learn a lot more and they seem a little bit more knowledgeable. I've run into so many people that were fresh out of college, and everything that they threw at me was like, well, the book definition is to do this. And it's like, okay, but what would you do in this situation? And, it really backfires on them. They're like, well, I need to be walked through this. Okay, well, then you don't know how to build financial statements here. You know how to build financial statements by the way of your textbook, which was probably made 5 years ago. And there were so many updates by then. I love how everybody wants this to be a get-rich-quick scheme. Yeah, you're right. Trading, investing, all of that is not a get-rich-quick scheme. There's differences between trading and investing, right? Trading is more of a job, so you can look at it as, yes, you create your own income, but you have the potential to make a lot more because you set your goals rather than someone else giving you a paycheck based on, how many hours you work. So that would be considered a job, but investing is more long-term to where you gain wealth throughout a number of years of holding those positions. So yeah, it's definitely a different, it's definitely different, and people think of it as a get-rich-quick scheme. Hey, I want to make $10,000, and then also not factoring the fact that if they make $10,000, they have to pay taxes on that money. So there's a lot of things that people don't understand about the stock market, but it is great to get into if you understand how to trade, if you understand how to invest. It's great to get into, but you're right, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Trading is your word for gambling, Perry. I mean, it all depends. This right here, the the whole basically meme stocks, that's more gambling than anything. Trading, typically you're using a lot of these indicators to dictate what's going to happen next. The problem is that AMC, you can't really dictate what's going to happen next. With a lot of these meme stocks, you can't dictate it. So yeah, that's a form of gambling. I wouldn't say that, you know, trading is my word for gambling. I definitely think that gambling is gambling, and I'll tell you what's gambling and what's not gambling. But typical trading is not gambling. It's, you need to, if you actually have a strategy, I would say that trading is a job, right? You understand the strategy to where you can gain certain amount of money. The only thing that's different between trading and a job is the fact that you have the potential to lose money in trading. In a job, you don't have potential to lose money. You stay there for hours and you get paid for, you know, just being there. Why am I above 430? Oh, oh yeah, because I want my AMC to go up. Yeah, that's not going to help. Monitoring it is not going to help. Trading is basically educated gambling. Yes, yes, I could say that. Can we talk stocks now? Yeah, I mean, what do you guys want to look at? I mean, what I'm focused on, let me just check my email real quick. We have 500 people in here. If you could hit that like button, that would be great. My voice is starting to clear up a little bit. Voice is starting to clear up just a little bit, so I, you know, feel like I'm getting my groove. You guys get paid? That's funny. So yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Get me over 100 likes. That'll be amazing. But like I said, I'm not going to be streaming all the way into the market open. I have some things I need to get to, but it's not COVID. It's just a standard cold. You don't have a fever or anything like that. It's just a standard cold. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into some of this information here. Let's start with, someone asked me about SNDL. So SNDL definitely took more of a hit over the pre-market and after hours. It did go up by 5% yesterday. That's always a good thing. Basically, from open to close, it was down, but from basically close to close, it was up by 5%. That's not bad. It's over. It was over $2.19, which a lot of people just wanted to stay over $2 and continue to grow. I think this is something that's going to continue to hover around that $2 mark, continue to fight back and forth. And right now you can see that it dropped down to $1.90. So I think it is going to continue to hover back and forth, and it just all depends how many people are getting into this. There's a lot of information around this, and I talked about all of these like cannabis stocks and how you're going to see the trend continue. So it had that massive growth, drop down, and then you're going to see that trend continue upward. So you're going to have slow growth, maybe come down a little bit more, but slow growth up, and you can expect a longer form of growth instead of a quick spike like it had. This position I talked about multiple times. I did on my story, and I talked about it coming back. I knew it was going to come back. The fact that it went up to 35 was absolutely ridiculous. Basically gaining what, over 1,000%, if I'm doing some sort of math right. But yeah, this looked absolutely ridiculous here. I mean, you could see it over literally one day, and it went from $3 all the way up to $35. And people were asking me, do I expect this to stay here? You can see that it came back to earth. You can look that it came back to the 200 moving EMA. I knew that this was going to come down. I just didn't think that this was going to skyrocket that much, that it had that much buying power. You can see now that it has equal buying power to selling power. So a lot of people are trying to get in, thinking that this is a spot to get in. But technically, I don't know if this is an actual spot to get in. It has flattened out, which means that it is fighting between buyers and sellers. We just need to really see what happens the rest of the pre-market, also what happens in the open in order to pick our spots. But if you do see a massive amount of buy orders come in, then it's definitely a buy, but it's mainly for people to gain a ton of profit. And you could see that it wasn't a massive sell-off, but it did sell off and, you know, was more of a slower sell-off, not than a, you know, fast downward movement, mainly like a plane crash there. But yeah, I mean, flattening out, it looks like it may be close to a time when you could buy in. It's close to the point to where it's going to cross over. So you might see a push up. We just need to continue to see exactly what these look like. You have wide range candle bars both ways, so it's not really indicating that it's going to go one way. You know, you can see the wide range candle bars drop down to this level, but then it pretty much stays normal here. And once you see these two, it's like there's that fight, a really big fight here. So we'll see how that plays out. You can't find the like button. It's there. Look for it. Let's see. So this is a $2 position. I don't know what news it does have. A lot of back and forth movement from the 15 MA to the 200 EMA. It makes me look like there's a lot of volatility here, which is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but it's not great to see consistent growth, really. So I look over 5 days, you can see that crossover. It does split somewhere around here. It starts to separate a little bit, and you could see it grow over the after hours. I really like seeing stuff like that, seeing it really pull away from the 200 moving average here. You can see the ascending level of support here. Let's go ahead and look at a longer view here. Let's look at 10,000 foot. So you can see the growth. You can see the growth up, right? And I definitely like the fact that it is longer term. You have over a number of days that it has grown. You do see a little bit of a decrease, but it does continue to move up. This is more of a quick movement, which means that it may be pumped a little bit. You do have a number of buy orders that are coming in. It looks like they're equal to buyers and sellers. You might want to pick your spot because it looks like it hasn't decreased in a while. You might want to wait until you see some sort of pullback, because you are going to see a pullback in every case. You will see some sort of a pullback. And that would be my opinion, is always wait for that pullback, because right now you're investing at a new high. And that's not what I want. So, yeah, that would be my opinion there. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I have to catch a jet plane this morning. Have a good day. Hope you get better. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Hope you have a good day as well. Yeah, what did I talk about? Oh yeah, I talked about SCKT. So I believe I uploaded a video today about that. It's crazy what this did yesterday. No, not this. SOS is good. It's crazy what this did yesterday. 538%. Crazy. SOS has a lot of quick movement here, with a lot of these happening over a number of days, so it might not be a fast decrease here, but it is going to get to a point to where they do have a sell-off. The problem is that I never like seeing these. This indicates that you are chasing the stock. If you look at SOS, it shows that you are chasing the stock if you continue to buy in here. Now, I'm not that type of person that will chase it. I will wait for that pullback, and if I can't find a pullback opportunity, I'm not going to get into it. So that would be my opinion of what I would see in SOS. but it does look like it could be a consistent grower besides that large increase that it did have over a number of days, literally from $1 all the way up to $16.46 over a number of days. So it's tough to look at. I've missed every pump and lost over 1K, and I'm a student. See, the thing about it, if you get to the point to where we're up here and you think that it still has potential to pump up, it's still too high to get in. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, this is a missed opportunity. If you cannot get in somewhere around here, obviously if you can get in over here, that would be amazing. But if you can't get in here or like right here at this level, then you missed the pump. You really missed it. And I wouldn't expect it to really go up anymore. And if it does, then you're going to see some sort of fallback soon. And some people might end up letting it sit there thinking that it's going to continue to increase the whole entire day. And that's not how the stock market works. It functions off of buyers and sellers. You never know what buyers are going to do. You never know what sellers are going to do. What watch am I wearing? This is just a Fossil watch. Matches my shorts, so I figured I would. I've been falling in love with this like army green color lately. Majority of my watches are Fossil watches. That's why you want to know before it pumps. I understand. A lot of times, if you want to check out Wall Street Bets to see exactly what's happening, you check out Wall Street Bets or check out a lot of these forums to see what's actually pumping or what they're thinking about pumping, and then see what actually takes action. If you see a lot of the price orders, the price action move up, then you know that they're pumping it. So that's really my best bet of understanding exactly when it's going to pump. Ariel, did you see the SEC report on AMC and GME yesterday? No, I didn't. Did it have any good highlights? No Marvel shirt today. No Marvel shirt. ALT. Huge pump up recently. Not that big. So basically from that $24 mark or $20 mark all the way up to $24. Let's see. Let's look at this from a larger. Okay, so we have a lot of positive movement over the last couple of days. Like I said, the problem that I'm having is you're hitting new highs here. Right? I don't know if it's a brand new high because you do have points to where it got a little bit higher. But it is starting to creep up in that area. Let's make sure. Let me look at 6 months to see exactly what happened here. So it was a lot higher at one point, and it's starting to creep up to that area again. It looks like it may resist. Let's see. Let's go to year to date. So you can see that, you know, you have these highs. Is it going to get back up to this point? I think it's going to start resisting some soon. You can see a lot of sell orders coming through, higher volume than sell orders than buy orders. But this would not be the time for me to get in. This would be the time to where you would see it probably pull back a little bit and maybe have more of an increase. Who knows if it will get up to this point? You have to check some of the news and all that stuff. But you can see that it is increasing. The problem is that it's getting close to these highs here, which it may resist at this point. But you do have quite a bit of distance here from where it's actually at. It's at $23 all the way up to $28 or $26. So you have quite a bit of distance. It's starting to get close to different highs here. And that's not what I want to see, because these lows obviously would be the best point to where you could invest. Right now, this is kind of a missed opportunity, in my opinion. It's not about what's trending on Wall Street Bets. It's about what you can find on Wall Street Bets. you don't need it to trend. Continue to look at different positions. And yes, you're probably right. I don't think it is completely too late, but you may be able to get in at certain points. So not at the absolute low, but you can get in somewhere at maybe, let's say, the I don't know, 25% mark before it has that 100% growth, right? 25% mark, and then you can have the 75% growth, which is really good. Or the 50% mark, and you get in with 50% growth. Or, you know, you can get out with 25% if that's what you wanted to do. So, yeah, I mean, you're probably right. If it's trending on Wall Street Bets, then yes. If it's trending on Wall Street Bets at night, then that's where you have a lot of things on, you know, your watch list for the morning to see exactly what people are really getting into, because nobody's taking action on it yet. And then you can be able to monitor those things and then go into the day understanding exactly what's going to pump based on the volume, potential volume that you see here. So Tuesday 2 million didn't work. AMC is doomed. Tuesday 2 million did not work. It was actually one of the lowest volumes. I don't even know if people went through with it. It was really low volume. You can look at, there's a day. Yeah, you can look at the day. 60 million, 46 million. And this is the thing. You could say 2 million, but how, does 2 million really make a difference if it actually is 2 million? You can have 55 million and 46 million. It's just not making a difference here. You know, you have 60 million. It's not making a difference. While these days you have 1.2 billion, a half a billion, or over a half a billion. So there's a lot of stuff to go off of there. If you could you hit that like button? We have 760 people in here. That would be amazing. No Marvel shirt today, you're right. Please look at MVIS. What's MVIS doing? So the fact that it is currently at $22.13 or 11 cents, closed at $23.72. MVIS has been moving a lot. Microvision has been moving quite a bit, has been having a large push up. And the thing about this is it's not something that's just a large push. You can look at it a day and say, yes, it was positive. That's what they're going to show you by one candlestick. But if you look at multiple candlesticks, you can see that it's having pullbacks. It's not something that's only increasing, which is something I like to see. Because if it is only increasing, then you know you're going to see that pullback. But if you do see these pullbacks as it starts to go up, you know that it's steady. You know that there's a number of buyers and sellers that are willing to fight. So this is going to continue to drive up. The fact that it is flat throughout the day, not really the best sign, but then again, it is if you want it to hold at that price, because if they're really fighting back and forth here, you do see a lot of these weird candlesticks here. But it does indicate that they are fighting around this mark and that you have, you know, these own support levels and resistance levels that you can go off of. But like I said, we need to see how this grows throughout the day. It tends to have a lot more volume throughout the day. So we need to see if people are willing to continue to buy this thing up. It looks like it's on the way up and it's going to continue on the way up. Looking at a 10,000 foot view, you can see that it's on the way up. You have these pullbacks, you have these huge jump ups with these slight pullbacks. So it's healthy. This stock is really healthy. It's not something that you can look at that's going to pull all the way back. You know, it depends if everybody dumps it, but I don't think that's the case because you see these pullbacks and a healthy recover. And that's what I like to see. And I think you're going to continue to see that on the way up. You may see it here to where you have a slight pullback or flatten out, and then it ends up increasing again, gets above $25. That'll be amazing. So MVIS looks pretty good. I definitely see it as a point to where you can invest. Like I've said in the past, you got to wait for a pullback. If you got in here at like this $20 mark, then technically you'll be able to gain a decent amount of profit over the next couple of days. Yeah, bro, you have COVID. I'm coughing, and I'm coughing and I have a sore throat. I've gotten sick before. I know the difference between getting sick and COVID, even though I never had COVID. Why does BB go down even though there's good news? Because BlackBerry doesn't have the volume. It's just like with all the ones that were like the initial like meme stocks, they never had the volume, and that's what was tricky. You know, if you don't have volume, you're never going to increase that stock price. You're going to have a number of people that sell off because you're staying flat. And that's just how it goes. And that's what's happening with BlackBerry. You don't see the same volume that you did in the past. Let's look at, I don't know, 3 months here. Let's look at 1 day. Let's go to where it had this increase. So you could see that, you know, they had a number of, so 366 million shares, 191 million, 92 million. You could see that the volume was there, and the volume has now decreased a substantial amount. You know, 18 million, 22 million, or 25 million. So people are still selling off because of the fact that the volume's not there, and that's why you're seeing it go down. It doesn't matter if it has good news or bad news. It matters what people are doing with. It's all dependent on buyers and sellers. So buyers or sellers could see this good news and still say, you know what, I don't see any actual movement here, so I'm not going to get into this position. And they don't buy in, which means that people that are selling, or people that are selling, take control of the market. So yeah. We have 791 people in here. If you could hit that like button, that would be phenomenal. Steve Martin, thank you for the super chat. Someone get this boy some milk. He needs milk. No, I don't need milk. You know that milk actually is bad for a sore throat. You might want like tea. Nothing that's too like, I don't know. You don't want butter or anything like that. No, none of those dairy products. You want water, a lot of water. Clear that out. Clear whatever's in the back of your throat out. And I should be fine in the next couple of days. Yeah, there's a lot of people that see mild symptoms with COVID, I'll tell you that. I knew a couple of people that had it. Obviously, I work in a hospital, so, but I'm like a financial analyst, senior financial analyst, so why is the monetization off? Continues to go off. I don't know why. Did anybody get an ad when they came in here? For some reason it said the monetization is off. Yeah, a lot of tea, anything that doesn't have milk. Yeah, milk causes congestion. Like the point is that I haven't been sick for, you know, I can tell you, like I'm going back to when I first started quarantining, so March. It's been a full year, you know, that I've been quarantining, right? And I have not been sick. No, like I have not been sick at all. So I'm due for something. Oh, is that why? Oh, you just got it. Okay. Okay. All right. I for some reason monetization was off. Thank you for subscribing, Brad. I appreciate that. I know my ad blocker for people I'm subscribed to. Oh, I didn't read the whole thing. I thought you said I'm subscribed to you. Like you. Okay, so thank you for being subscribed to me. That's what I meant. You can't say the C word. I thought that was you know, debunked. I mean, you couldn't say it in the beginning because people were using it basically saying, oh, I have this is what I'm dealing with in order to get views, which is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I seen those videos. I was just laughing at them. People that were like, oh, I have this. This is what's happening. This is what I'm feeling. All this other stuff. Or, you know, some sort of BS, really. That's what YouTube ends up being, you know, a lot of BS. It bothers me sometimes, especially the people that end up, you know, like I was doing stimulus check videos, and the people that constantly clickbait and say, you know, stimulus check coming tomorrow, when it's nowhere near coming, and it's just ridiculous. I missed your super chat. What did you say? I'm sorry if I missed your super chat. Let me. Dennis, is that what that was? So I already checked out SNDL, and I talked about that in the beginning. I talked about CTRM, I believe. That does have a great look to it. You can see that the 200 EMA is now crossed over through the 15 moving average, which indicates you're going to have that spike, and you did have that spike all the way up to $1.95, which it did have a pullback down to about $1.23. Let's see if CTRM is something that I would see as a crazy push. This is something that's really difficult to take in. If people look at this as a positive look, yes, you can see it. You can see it has a lot of positivity over the beginning, long-term growth, which is a good thing, which means that if you see any sort of pullbacks, then you're fine. The problem is that you haven't really seen too many pullbacks on the way up, which means that people are just riding it in order to gain a profit. And obviously you've seen that when it gets to about $2, they start to take their profits, and they continue to take their profits, understanding that it may not get back to where it was. So then it goes up in the pre-market, they take more profits. And I don't know any of the news behind it, but it doesn't look like, let me clear this. It doesn't look like it's super strong. Let me look at a 10,000 foot view. So you can see that massive increase that it had over a number of days without many pullbacks. You can see this pullback that it did have, and it did recover from it. So I do like seeing that and how it flattened out. But this pullback should be over soon. I don't think it's going to come all the way back to the 200 moving average when you look at a 10,000 foot view. But I think that it will pull back a little bit more and then be able to have that increase. It looks like it's on a trajectory to actually increase from here. So if you draw a line, let's see if I can draw a line from here. You draw a line somewhere around here, maybe it will, that doesn't have that touch point at all. Maybe it'll end up coming back to here and then, you know, start to increase a little bit more. So hopefully that's the case. It doesn't come back all the way to the 200 EMA, and I think the EMA may come back to there if it does come back here rapidly. So it might get close, but I don't think it's going to cross back over. So CTRM looks like it could be at a buy opportunity soon, and it's definitely going to have a massive push, in my opinion. Yeah, it looks like what they're doing is to talk about cannabis stocks. What they're doing for cannabis stocks, which I don't know when I'm releasing videos, but I'm releasing a video at 7:30, 8:30, and 9:30 here because I wanted to get everything done before the market opened. And then maybe I'll do some more videos later, I don't know. But I wanted to release all those videos, and I wanted to talk about cannabis stocks and the future for those. Because looking at cannabis stocks, you could see that it's following a trend, right? And you can see that I drew this trend line here, and it looks like there's levels of support that it is hitting. This was just abnormal, and it was something to where it was pump and dump. Right now, they're starting to follow. You can see they're still following suit, so a lot of people are investing in them at the same time periods. But you are seeing it follow the trend line. It's going to continue to go up. Let's see if it does stay around there and continue to have the price slowly increase. Same thing with all of these other ones. You're going to see the same thing around that trend line. Maybe this one's a little bit far off, did come back a little bit too far. ACB, same way, again, that trend line there. CTRN, CRON. You're going to see a lot of different positions that actually move up here and follow that trend line. So for cannabis stocks, I think it's close to the time to where you can invest. Probably not APHA. It looks like that's increasing a lot. That's probably the one that's, you know, kind of abnormal here. It's not really doing the same thing that everything else is doing. But it is pretty interesting what's actually happening with cannabis. What do I think about AMC? AMC doesn't have the volume. I'm still invested in there. I still hold my 1,700 shares, but it just doesn't have the volume to grow at a fast rate. If people would get less distracted with all of these other positions that they're in and just go into AMC, we would have a squeezable opportunity here, because they still have shorted shares. They still have a high short percentage, right? They still have all of this information that really gives us a reason to buy into it. But a lot of people are distracted. So, so AMC right now is down basically 1%. It's hovering, you know, around that $5.50 to $6 mark. It doesn't really want to push that $6. And if you scroll in, let's look at, you know, last 5 days, you can see that it pushed up almost up to the $7 mark, but instantly pulled back and really went downhill all the rest of the pre-market. And then pretty much hovered around that $5, $5.50 mark, and it's just not looking good. It's not looking like the volume that we've seen in the past. And this whole Tuesday 2 million didn't help out at all. Maybe we can look at that as a Monday, because Mondays typically don't really go well. So maybe we can look at that as a Monday and show that Mondays just aren't really good, but you can see that it's just not looking its best. Yes, sir, we need the volume. We do need the volume in AMC in order to do something. The problem is AMC was a distraction from GME. I don't think so. I think they both had a lot of volume, right? And I love the fact that they both had a lot of volume. GME was such a high price that people had to shift their focus to something that was lower priced, and understandable, right? Read my message. I will read your message. Give me a second. I'll make sure to hold it there. Sorry, Javier. I will read it. But yeah, it's definitely something that is a little bit difficult. There's a number of messages that you sent here. It's definitely a little bit difficult to take in, because you think about it and people say that AMC is a distraction from GME. All these other ones are distraction from GME, but no. The only thing that derailed GME and AMC were the restricted trading. So if we had that restricted trading that happened, it took all of our attention off of the stocks that we wanted to invest in, because we couldn't invest in it. But then you had a number of people that are, you know, normal investors or normal traders, and they decided to go somewhere else and not even care about AMC, you know, cut their losses and go somewhere else, which is not a bad idea on their part. The problem is that when they lifted all the restrictions, the only reason they lifted the restrictions is because they seen the popularity was not there anymore. You know, it wasn't the fact that they lifted restrictions because they got their money. They lifted restrictions because the popularity wasn't there. And people can say that the popularity was there based on all the YouTube videos, all the streams and all that stuff, but it wasn't. It was not there. That's what happened. All the other ones were really a distraction, and the restricted trading was the main distraction from GME and AMC. Both of them were skyrocketing. GME had massive potential to even hit 1,000. AMC had potential to hit $100 or $200 if it really pushed, and you've seen it. But then obviously the restricted trading just hit us hard. You have to pay for you to read messages. No, you don't have to pay for me to read messages. I only have $9 in chat revenue. I've been reading a lot of messages. Let's see, where's your message here? Let me go ahead. I'd appreciate it. I would appreciate like a nice question here. Like this one is, yo Matt, dude, read my message. Bro, CCIV, check it out. Like, hey, can you check this out? Yeah, sure, you know. I'll do it. Sometimes it takes time to get into all those because they're long-winded answers. You can see that it does have a massive increase here. Churchill Capital. I do like seeing the thing that I really like seeing is having this massive increase, but then also seeing it fight at the top. So the fact that it didn't pull back makes me think that it's going to continue on the way up. And you do see in the pre-market that it is moving. It's up 31% yesterday, 2% today in the pre-market. And you could see that every case it does increase and then stays flat. So a lot of people are holding these positions. They're buying more than selling. So it looks like you are going to see a lot of potential here. Let me look at a larger view here. So yeah, basically from the $10 mark all the way up to the $55 mark over the last maybe month or so. Looks really good, looks really strong. Stays away from the 200 EMA here. And you have a large increase which pulls it away. Now, I mean, it looks like a lot of people are holding for a larger profit, but I really would expect some sort of pullback. You don't see any type of pullback here. You see slight pullbacks, which indicate that it's fighting a little bit, but it's more of a level out than anything. And it's not really something that's a pullback. And that's just mainly on the chart, not really understanding news here or going into news, but mainly looking at the chart. Anything that pulls away this much, you can see that it's being overbought on the RSI, which will have a pullback. And the thing that, like I said, like I like to see is the fact that it is flat throughout the day, throughout the pre-market and the after hours. You can see that it's flat with an increase over the later end of the pre-market. So, yeah. Professional athletes caught COVID. AMC super dead. I don't think it's dead. I just don't think there's an opportunity to squeeze at this point. And people don't want to hear this. They want to say, oh, well, you know what? I'm paper hands. I'm going to sell and all this other stuff. Right now, I have a $6,000 loss. And I'm comfortable with that. I feel like you can gain a lot in the long term with AMC, but the problem is that you're going to have to wait. And waiting, in my opinion, is something that I don't like to do, because you are seeing a push with Churchill right now. Waiting is something that I don't like to do because I'm impatient and I want to gain something very fast. If I gain $10,000 right now, when I had the potential to gain $10,000 over a number of stocks that I buy, that's a whole different story. I mean, I look at it differently there. I hope not. Bobby Jr. Says, so is restricted trading a fact of life we have to, oh, it moved away, we have to get used to? I hope not. I hope that we don't have to get used to restricted trading just because a hedge fund shorted a bunch of stocks here. It makes no sense to me whatsoever why they would look at this as a normal situation. A hedge fund was about to go bankrupt, so they said, you know what, we need Robinhood to restrict trading because we're going to go bankrupt, when the whole purpose of them shorting the position was to bankrupt another company. But no, you know, we can't help them out, because when we help them out, we help the businesses out. That's not a good deal because they're losing money. The hedge funds are losing money. But when the hedge funds are losing money, everything has to stop. Like, it makes no sense. That's the suits backing suits, and it's ridiculous. I hate it so much. And I don't hate a lot of things, but the fact that these billionaires definitely control the world and there's no getting around it is ridiculous. Sorry for all the coughing, by the way. The thing is, class actions won't help. You can look at all these lawsuits that you put in place, but if they truly run the world, which they do, they can get out of anything that they want. You know, these billionaires, these hedge funds can get out of anything that they want. They get bailed out of everything. The big banks, the hedge funds, all of them get bailed out if they make a mistake. Because look at this. You look at every decision that they made, they're very stubborn in those instances, and they're like, okay, you know what, we're going to hold on, we're going to hold, we're going to hold. Instead of them selling or buying back when, you know, the stock price was going up crazy, they doubled down. And it's the same thing they did in 2008, 2009. They double down on every single situation. They triple, quadruple. Like, they are so stubborn and saying that they're going to win. They're going to basically claw back all this money from the people. And it's crazy. They're wrong. And they just get bailed out every single time. But we don't get bailed out. They get bailed out. I look at it all the time. I love watching The Big Short. And it just, every time I watch it, it like opens my eyes more and more to how much the world is just, you know, run by money. And the people who have the most money, you know, end up getting bailed out the most. You know, they don't want to go bankrupt. They don't want them to go bankrupt. Yeah, you're right. They even have people to vote for them to get bailed out. Yeah, you're right. So this is why a lot of people will look at these positions and say AMC's done or GME's done, because they basically say that the hedge funds have won here. Anybody talking about the fact that GME or AMC have lost means that they gave up on the situation and felt like the hedge funds won and we can't get a big squeeze out of it. And they're probably right. We can't get a big squeeze out of it, but I can definitely assure you that we can get large pushes. We can get something with GME that can push up to $200 if we had the volume. We can get AMC at $30, $40, $50 if we had the volume, but people are not interested in it anymore. Matthew's COVID symptom is deteriorating day by day. You've been asking for 30 minutes, AAACG. Sorry about that. So this doesn't look promising. You do see it flatten out, which is a good deal, and stay away from the 200 moving average. That's amazing. But with this large increase here, seeing that large fall, if you think that's going to get to 19, you're kind of, that's not going to happen. In my opinion. This is all my opinion. This is not based on, you know, crazy like factual evidence. It's just basically what I see in the chart, and seeing by history. You could see that it moved from $1 all the way up to $19, which is a huge gain over basically one day, and then had a decrease over that same time period, basically a day. And then it started to level out, which it is, you know, at a higher point now, but it's going to probably slowly have a trail off. I don't think that it's going to stay here. But this is just looking at the chart. It may have a different situation here. It looks like it's getting closer and closer to the 200 EMA as it continues to stay leveled out. So it's not something that I look at as a buy-in opportunity. It may be very low, but if you don't see the volume here, then it's definitely not a buy-in opportunity. Sorry about that. TLRY will take off today. Ahead of the report. Yeah, I think that, like I was saying with cannabis stocks, is that cannabis in general is definitely going to make its move back up, a slow move back up. I don't think it's going to be something where you have a crazy takeoff, but you are going to see some good movement here. And it's going to continue on this trend line. If we do see a little bit of a pop, that'll be amazing, but just know if we see a pop, we are going to see a little bit of an increase as well. That's just the trend of how it goes. But you're right, Javier. I think we are going to see something good with Tilray. Jeez. All right, so we have 1,000 people in here. If you could hit that like button, get it above, 500 likes, that will be amazing. AMC only has 22% short interest. Accurate? Yeah, I think cannabis is good for a long-term investment. It definitely has its moments to where it has those pops, but I think a long-term investment, you could see the trend line that it is going to be pushing up. It stopped pretty much exactly on that trend line, exactly where the support level will be, and continued to move throughout. And let's see if it continues to move up. Hopefully we can see it follow that trend line all the way up. And by, maybe a week or so, you can see it hit 40. And maybe you might have a couple of pops, especially with them releasing earnings, right? I don't have COVID. I'm whack. Says this guy is whack. Me, I'm whack. I'll be whack. I'll be whack for a day. I didn't even know that was still a thing. I can't remember the last time I said that. Yo, you're whack. But yeah, I could be whack for a day or whack for a lifetime. I'm fine. Good morning, morning, Matt. I love your channel. Do you think DFV testifying to Congress will cause a spike in in the meme stock volume this week? Feel better. Thank you for saying that. Anything, I think so. I mean, it really just depends how people take it. I think it will. There will be spikes in the older meme stocks. No, I think in the newer ones probably. I don't think you're going to see a ton of spikes in like GME, AMC, BlackBerry, Nokia. I don't think that's the case. If you are going to see spikes, it's going to be in any of the newer ones that they're mentioning, that they were mentioning. Even Cannabis at some points, they're still going to have that. You're also going to see. Let's see. Is there any other ones that are popular right now? You may see Riot actually spike. So there's a lot of ones that you will see continuously spike, but I don't think that you'll see GME or AMC have a spike. It looks like they're going to stay flat. You're not going to see the volume increase there. I would hope that happens, but I don't see that as actually happening with these meme stocks, if that's what you're asking here. So I know that DFV had a lot of a lot of growth in GameStop, and it would make sense for that to increase, but I just don't see the volume going there. And if it does, I mean, I'll be happy, right? Because we should see some sort of a little spike, but I mean, I would just like them to get a spike up to $76 so that I can break even on GME and I don't have to really hold it anymore. Because like I said, I'm comfortable with the losses that I have, but I also am not 100% comfortable because I would like to keep that money, so I can put that money in other places. And that's what I hope that I can do, eventually. So if we do see a spike, that would be amazing, but I don't think we will see anything like that. Alex, thank you for that super chat, though. I really appreciate that. Heyman checking in from Scotland every day. Thoughts on BIO, BioSearch, penny stock, possible buy over. Get a Scottish hot toddy for your cough. I don't even know what that is, but I'll have to look it up. Wow. Did you say that this is a penny stock? I'm sorry. So this is $649. It does look like it had a large increase over the last couple of days, from $5.62 all the way up to $6.89. The problem with this is that you need to see a pullback here. That's a large increase over the last couple of days. So you need to see some sort of a pullback, maybe closer to the 200 EMA. I don't think there's any. But yeah, I think you are going to need to see some sort of a pullback here. Maybe there's a couple of support levels. I don't really have any huge orders. you don't really have any huge orders. But yeah, I think that you are going to wait to see a pullback here, and then you'll be good. 12. Let's look at one day. The last couple of days, the last day you've seen had a large decrease from basically a high of, let's say, $6.61 all the way down to a low of, that does not make sense, a low of $647. I'm starting to get delusional, I guess. So $649 is where it ended at. But yeah, over the last day, you're seeing a massive decrease. I don't see this as a buy opportunity right now. I would definitely see this as a decrease opportunity, and let it hit its low, whatever low that's going to be. Wait for these wide range candle bars. This looks a little ridiculous. The candle bars don't even look like anything I can really get into. But yeah, you are seeing a large decrease from $689 all the way down to $649 is where it closed. So yeah, I would definitely wait for some sort of a decrease more. It does look like it crossed the 200 EMA line, which may indicate that it's going to continue to push down or pull down. So yeah, I think you need to wait this out, in my opinion. And it is a high price to pay. For a lot of people, they're not going to, you know, throw a lot of money in there, especially if it's going to decrease or increase by that much. You know, looking at where it was, let's say a month ago, being at 540, you know, less than a month ago, being at 540 and then going all the way up to $689, moving that much is a little ridiculous. And you see a lot of volatility here. So yeah, I would definitely wait for a little bit of a pullback here. We have 1,139 people in here. If you could hit that like button, that would be great. I think I'm going absolutely insane here. I ran out of water. What's your thoughts on SENS? I was looking at SENS the other day, I think yesterday actually. I have it right here. So looking at it from a 10,000 foot view, obviously you could see the positivity here. You can see that it's separated from the 200 EMA to the 15 moving average. It does fight back to it, but doesn't cross it, which is a good thing. As you start to look into it day by day, you could probably see that cross, but it hasn't crossed. Looking at that 10,000 foot view, it hasn't crossed since it was at 40 cents. So it's really been pushing up, and you can see that it has had consistent, you know, growth with pullbacks. And I like to see it level out a little bit. So you like to see this growth. This right here, it makes me think that you are going to see some sort of a pullback. Maybe it's not going to be a huge pullback depending on what the sells actually are. But it looks like you have more buying power than you do selling power. So you can continue to see that pull up or pull away from the 200 moving average. If we look at it at a closer view, let's see what we're seeing for the 5 days. 5 days, like here, you can see that crossover. It has fought back and forth during this time period, but then you could see that increase here, which did have a little bit of a sell-off and recovered and flattened out. I like to see it flatten out over the pre-market, but then you see this gap up. So definitely expect some sort of a pullback. This might be the pullback that you were expecting, back to the 200 moving average, maybe, or 200 EMA, maybe even a lower pullback than that. But it does look like it did pull back, and it did fight at a certain point. Let's see if we can maybe find some resistance levels. You are going to see a wall at 570, a buy or sell wall at 570, and you're going to see a lot of buy walls at, you know, $5.63, $5.40, $5.22. So you're definitely going to see some fight back and forth. It looks like it has a lot of positive movement on the way up. I don't think it's going to be something that continuously increases at the scale that it's increasing, but I do see it as moving upward, following the trend, following this ascending level of support that it does have. So yeah, being up 26% over the last day and then 7% over the pre-market is definitely a great sign. Just watch to see in the open to see if you do have some sort of a sell-off, which I would highly doubt that you do. So yeah. Let's see if it does have any news. Where's the news? Where's the stocks moving Tuesday, midday? That was yesterday. Okay. HCMC, is that still, I wonder what the price is on HCMC. I know I was looking at HC. Whoa. Do you even pop and lock, bro? How did you know I'd dance? Well, I don't dance anymore. I did. Let's see, HCMC. The last time I reviewed it, I believe we were somewhere around at this point. So maybe we were a lot lower. I don't like dealing with penny stocks. These are less than a penny. Do I see consistent growth? Yes, I do see consistent growth. It did cross over for the 200 EMA to the 15 moving average. So you can't really say that the growth is absolutely consistent, because you do see a sell-off a little bit here. Are we going to continue to see the sell-off? You did see a gap up, a large gap up, in my opinion there. But it does look like it's going to continue to have the volume. And I don't know what's going on with the order books here, if I can see those orders come through. But looking at this, it looks like it's a consistent grower. You just have to see if you pick your spot the right moment. Hopefully people bought in at this point. If you did, then you can basically get some sort of growth here. It may resist a couple of times. Let's see if there's any resist points. It may resist maybe at the, I don't know, half a cent mark, 0.0065. You might have those points of resistance, but it does look like it is going to continually increase. You gained 15% in the last day. So yeah, I think it has potential. I just don't like seeing penny stocks. I'm not a fan of penny stocks. I was trying to troll you about it. Thanks for answering. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Niggly. That's a funny name. It's a funny name. Warren Buffett is heavily invested in SOS. Really heavily invested in SOS at a very low point, or probably at this super low point that it did have, not where it is now. Well, obviously he's invested in the long term. Usually that's how he invests. So yes, I would say you're right by saying that. But he probably is invested in the, where it was $1, and the potential to come back to $1 is pretty much minimal. It's impossible that it will. So seeing that increase, no matter what, he's gaining a ton of money out of it, and seeing if it does increase to $30, $100 is something that he's willing to take, especially investing probably at the dollar mark. That's always great. I'm not coughing in the mic. I'm trying to, if I coughed, I'd be like this. Sorry. Don't worry, this stream's only going on for another 20 minutes here. I'm not going into the market open because I got some things to do, but I don't even know how to cough at this point. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't. It is mostly retail traders. Yeah, we are not Buffett. You're right. No pops and locks. AMC is dead. I mean, AMC is definitely tough to look at, and it makes me question it every day. But I do want to see some sort of a pop. I know we're going to see it, and any way that I can minimize the amount of loss that I have, because I don't know if I want to hold on to it for a long period of time. I don't know if I want to. This might be something that maybe I do hold a smaller amount of shares for a long period of time. Hopefully can get it at 550 and continue on my merry way or whatever. But yeah, I think AMC is just difficult in the short term to say that we're going to have this massive increase. I don't know if we are. It just all depends what the volume actually is. And if for some reason people decide to push this along, then yeah, we'll have the volume, we'll have that increase. And I won't feel bad about the fact that I got out. So yeah. Do I want to wait till it's stage 4? I think I'm fine, man. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I don't mind the trash talk. Yeah, I mean, they can say what they want. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Do I give them airtime a lot of times? No, I really don't want to, talk about this. Watch by the end of the summer. I think you're right. You sound like a toddler. Okay. Thank you. I have a toddler. I know how she sounds. It's not good. Yeah, AMC's volume's in the 50 million range. Where it was before was in the 1.2 billion range or half a billion range. I wouldn't say that Trades has no idea what he's talking about. I've watched his channel. I watch it here and there. When he talks about AMC, I want to know exactly what he's thinking as well. And a lot of times it's the same thing. It's more of a long-term play unless we see the volume push up. That's what it's all about. So why has someone put a $250 bet on GameStop going up to $2.40 on Friday? People put in these options all the time, right? That's just what they do. And who knows if they're right? Some people end up putting in large positions there that don't mean anything to them. And if they lose the money, they lose the money. But if they gain the money, then they gain a lot of money, right? Why are people so rude? Why are they even here? I don't know. Trades caught hype from Wall Street bets. Dude is a joke. I don't think he's a joke. He has a lot of great calls that he has. I know he does a lot of videos where he talks about different positions and really goes in depth with a lot of his potential trades and entry points and all of those. And some of them are good, some of them are bad. Everybody has bad trades. People lose money in the stock market. Everybody's not always right. I wasn't right about yesterday about the fact that ultimately I was right, but I wasn't really right yesterday when I was looking at, I can't remember what it was, SCKT, and saying that it was going to pull back when it was at like $22, and it ended up going all the way up to 35. Now, ultimately, it did pull back, and now pre-market, it's at $16, and I knew it was going to pull back eventually. People are going to take their profits. I just didn't know when. So what I didn't want people to do for this was to chase the stock. If you get in here and you start chasing the stock, then what you're going to see is this downfall. You're going to say, you know what, I need to get out. then you're going to get back in it up here, and then you're going to get out. Then you're going to get back in it up here, and then you're going to get out. That's just what happens. People do it all the time. They chase the stock over and over again because they think as it's going up, I should buy. No, you buy when it hits its low, and then you can actually gain a profit. But the thing about it is, like what I was saying, everybody's, not everybody is right all the time. I wouldn't say that I'm right all the time. I wouldn't say he's right all the time. But it's about showing people and teaching people what they should look at when it comes to the stock market. So I don't want to say that Trey's trade is a joke. He's definitely, he definitely has the knowledge and know-how. But some people, just can't take all that information as a positive, or some people talking about AMC as a long-term trade. Maybe you look at them as paper hands or whatever. But right now, in my opinion, AMC is not squeezing. So yeah, you're right, David. You are right by saying that. You shouldn't come to all this stuff just to trash people, and when your bank account looks like Trey's. I mean, some people have a lot of money and they just don't believe in short-term trading, and I understand. You can do that, but everybody has their own level of wealth, right? I wouldn't say I'm wealthier than the next person. I wouldn't say I have more, I wouldn't say I'm smarter than the next person. I wouldn't say that, because there's always things that I can learn. There's always more money that I can make. And I never really know how much a person makes. You can't really judge them by the things that they wear. I like watches. It doesn't mean I have millions of dollars. That's just standard. I mean, common sense. The thing is like, people think of a successful trader as having millions and millions of dollars. No, that's not the case. Stevie J, I'm addressing your comment saying Trey is smart, question mark. Look at his environment. Does he look like a successful trader? Yes, he does look like a successful trader. The thing about trading and investing is trading is a job. Trading, you hold on to, you're buying these positions in order to make money the next day or intraday or whatever. It's a job compared to investing, to where you make your money work for you. A lot of people trade in order to, add that money to their Roth IRA or whatever investment account they do have, whatever long-term investments they have, in order to create that wealth. So trading, yes, I think he's a successful trader. When it comes to long-term investing, maybe not. Maybe he does have something that we don't know about. But a lot of times when you trade, that's the thing that you're using in order to fund the long-term investing, in order to make your money work for you. And then as you continue to build up, if you can gain $8,000, right, put that into whatever investment account you have and have that as a long-term investment. That $8,000 is now working for you. So that's what I'm saying. By a successful trader. There's a difference. He doesn't have to be the richest person in the world. You don't have to be dressed in Gucci or dressed in a suit in order to be a successful trader. That's not the case. I'm a successful trader. Why would that? Why would I look at my life being absolutely phenomenal and having Ferraris and all that stuff? No, that's not the case. Success is really what you make it. So if you have a number of days to where you can gain money out of it and you're positive, you're a successful trader. If you understand the stock market and can be able to move on these things intraday or weekly, you're a successful trader. I don't want to hear any of that he's not a successful trader. I'll defend the people that know how to trade, that understand a lot of the ins and outs of this over anybody. So I'm sorry to get a little hype here, but I like what he does, because obviously he does things that I do and I'm passionate about. So You're a positive dude. I could learn a lot from you regarding just having a positive mindset. Kudos to you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to be as positive as possible. And people that come with like negative comments, I appreciate their insight. I respect anybody's opinion. But I could tell you that just because of someone's surroundings, that doesn't mean that they're not a successful trader. Just because someone, dresses in a holy t-shirt, I'm not talking about like spiritual, dresses in like a holy t-shirt, or, has, holes in their shoes or whatever, doesn't mean that they don't have money. There are a number of people that I know that like wear the same shirts that they wore in like, middle school and elementary school, whatever, if they could still fit it. And they do that in order to save money. And if they do that, then basically they don't have to spend that money somewhere else. They can put that money in their investment accounts. They don't have to look great for you. They know what's in their bank account, right? So, all right, so we have 1,000 people in here. If you can get me to 500 likes, that would be amazing. I'm holding 100 AMC shares until it reaches $15 to $20. Millionaires are... That's good. I think it's going to be a long-term play at this point. It's not going to be anything that's... it's not going to be anything that's a huge increase. Yeah, it's all about helping people, Paul. It's all about helping people. This is what we're here for. There's a lot of people that have an interest in trading, and we're here just to give you an understanding on what you should be looking at. If you're looking for a short-term trading, if you're looking for short-term trading, then yeah, you can be looking at certain things. If you're looking for long-term investing, you can be looking at certain things here. We want to show you exactly what you can look for in the charts, use different platforms, get you interested in investing, because a lot of people don't invest their money. What is it? Over 70% of people in the United States do not have $1,000 in their bank account. So if we can find a way to get that money into an investment account, get it into a place to where you can't touch it, then that will be amazing, because then you're going to be saving that money. You're going to put it into a place that grows maybe 5, 10% or whatever. And then you'll be able to retire and all this other stuff. So, Jesus. What's my nationality? I'm black and white. I'm half black, half white, American. Born in Pennsylvania. Family from Georgia. My dad's side of my family from Georgia. My mom's side, I do not know. I do not know if I'm like German, Irish, or whatever. But my mom doesn't know that. A-R-K. So this from the start looks like it's going downhill. A lot of sell orders here. So a lot of people are selling off. You may want to wait until a low point. Let's see what it looks like from like a 10,000 foot view or 20,000 foot view or whatever. You can see that you've had a large increase over the last couple of days. You are seeing it get close to the 200 moving average if you're looking at, or 200 EMA if you're looking at a 100,000 foot view or whatever this view actually is. It starts to get really close to it at times, does have these pullbacks, which means that it is pretty healthy. You have had this increase, which indicates that we are going to see some sort of a pullback close to this 200 EMA again. So you might want to pick your spot, wait for that low point, and then invest in and continue to ride it on the way up. But right now it looks like it is selling off. You have a number of sell orders that are coming through, a lot of sell orders compared to buy orders. Now it's not a ton, it's literally in the thousands, but that looks like that might be the trend, in my opinion. Thank you for the super chat. AR. Let's look at that too. That's pretty much the same way. You could see the same rules are hitting the same way. Now this one takes a lot more of an impact. It does have a larger increase as well. But you are seeing basically the same thing from a 10,000 foot view. You might want to wait for a little bit of a pullback, which you typically see over a number of days. It has had this increase, which it did flatten out, and you might see something pull back from this, I guess, $98 mark at this point. But yeah, pick your spot, because it looks like with the way that it's trending, you're going to continue to see this moving uphill. And this is just based on what the chart is showing me, not really going off of what the buyers and sellers are actually going to do. It looks like you do have a number of sell orders that are coming through, but again, it's in the thousands. It's not anything that's crazy. Thank you for the super chat, James. I appreciate that. I like turtles. All right. So it looks like I'm pretty much done. I would hold AMC just for you. Don't do it for me. Do it for you. Anyways, I think I'm done. I have to stop streaming here. I know I usually stream until, basically 30 minutes until the market opens, but I have a couple of things I need to do. I'll look at this because you sent a super chat here. I don't want to I don't want to ignore that. Thank you, Keith, for sending that. But again, wow. So it looks like it has completely exploded in the pre-market. Just know that you're going to see this sell-off with a explosion like that, 267%. What's the news behind this? What actually happened? Yeah, I think we're going to need to check to see if it's being pumped, because that's a huge increase, 271%. And I don't want to get into the same situation that I seen yesterday. I will continue to monitor this throughout the day to see what it actually does. But right now you can see that you had that large increase over, in the pre-market where it, wide range candle bar. Let's go ahead and look at one day. And you can see that crazy increase that it did have, which is basically 282%. At a high, it's probably a lot higher than that, over 300%. But when this does open, you're definitely going to see some sort of a pullback, unless we continue driving this price up, unless you have a lot of buy orders that come through. So people that are holding this from where it closed, I applaud you. But yeah, it's definitely way too high of a point for me to say you have an entry point here. It increased 300%. I will never take an entry point that's 300%. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to end this stream here. Thank you so much for watching. I got to go get some more water. But I'll see if I can stream a little bit later and maybe talk about what's going on. Oh, thank you, Trey, for stopping by. I had to say things that, positive things about you. So thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. We got to show respect for other traders in the community. So thank you for stopping by. Yeah, hopefully we can transition over to Trey's channel. I believe you're starting to stream right now. So go over there and watch him. Make sure you check out everything he has to say, because he has a lot of knowledge. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Hit that like button on the way out. That'll be amazing. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so much again. Make sure if you're interested in the platform, nobody asked me about the platform today, which is interesting because a lot of people usually ask me about what platform this is. So the platform is Webull. If you're interested in this platform, make sure you go down to my link down below. You can get free stocks if you sign up and deposit $100. But I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream or video. See ya.